Hello students, I am Dr. Shrikant Bause, Assistant Professor at Department of Advanced Management Studies, GS College of Commerce, Wardha. Today, in this video, we are going to study one of the most widely used traditional method of valuation of a company, that is asset-based valuation. Now, this asset-based valuation can be done by the valuer or an analyst for a small cap company, mid cap company, or the large cap company also. In addition to this, the private companies and professional firms can also be valued by using the asset based valuation method. This asset based valuation method is considered as one of the most reliable method for valuing any company. So let's start. We will see that how the asset based valuation is carried out with the different methods. So this asset based valuation firstly focuses on company's net asset value. Now what is net asset value? It is total assets minus total liabilities, as this is the formula also for the book value. The asset based valuation and book valuation may also be equivalent in certain cases, though they are not the same. So here we are seeing that in the asset based valuation, the current market value is taken into consideration. For example, if a business have acquired 10 acres of land at 10 lakh rupees before 10 years, but after 10 years, if the value of that land is 1 crore rupees at that time, that land will be valued at the current market value, current government price, that will be 1 crore rupees. So it is a realistic approach and the current approach. Next one is, it is useful for calculating the price of share at the time of IPO, that is initial public offer, FPO, that is follow-on public offer. If a company wants to sell its share on the stock exchanges, at that time the price of single share will be calculated by the asset based valuation method. If company again want to sell its share on the stock exchanges, if it is already listed and again want to sell its shares, that will be FPO. At that time also, this asset based valuation method will be helpful. Then the liquidation. At the time of liquidation, if a company wants to sell itself to another buyer, at that time, by using the asset based valuation method, the valuer or analyst will value the company and the buyer will buy nearly at the same amount or the approximate amount which will be near to the valuation done by the asset based method. Then, as we have already seen, that book value will be somewhere near to this method as the formula is said. Now, adjusting net assets is also challenging. How? Because in the balance sheet method, we have seen that the balance sheet method always focuses on depreciating the assets over the period of time. But in this method, the calculation is done by using the current market value method. So sometimes it becomes challenging. Now, there are three methods of asset based valuation. First one is the asset accumulation valuation method. Second one is the excess earnings valuation, and third one is the business value versus selling price. Now we will study them one by one. in the asset accumulation valuation method, all the assets and all the liabilities are taken into consideration and the list is compiled of all the assets and all the liabilities. This is the first step. After enlisting all the assets and all the liabilities, the value for respective assets will be given and also the values for the respective liabilities will be found out. After assigning the proper values, the asset accumulation valuation method will value the company by subtracting the total assets minus total liabilities. Here, the biggest challenge is of valuing the trademarks, patents and trade secrets. As we all know that these are the intangible assets, these are the assets which are coming out of the brain of the employees, and these are very highly recognizable assets and having huge value, because technological companies earns crores of rupees by selling their patents, trademarks, etc. So here it becomes difficult to value these assets. Valuing a land will be very easy because there will be government rate, there will be market rate available, but valuing trademark, patents is extremely difficult. Then, as we have seen difficulty in valuing the intellectual assets, there are also difficulties in valuing the liabilities. These liabilities may be provisional liabilities. Suppose that there is a court case going on with the company or against the company. The suit may go in favor of a company or it may also go against the company. If it goes against the company, at that time company will have to pay the compensatory amount to the opponent, and it may create a great difficulty for valuing by this method. Then unresolved court cases we have seen, and after the compliances, each and every business has to follow their regulators which are appointed by the government. The regulators involve Income Tax Authority, GST Authority, then regulators such as Stock Market Regulator SEBI, Insurance Regulator IRDA, etc. If there is non-compliance by the company, at that time it may lead to huge losses, huge penalty, which will lead to huge losses for a company. So these are the difficulties in the asset accumulation valuation. Now the next second type is the excess earnings valuation. In this, there will be a combination of income and assets valuation methods. So it will be somewhat, we can say, a combined approach for valuing the company. This method determines the goodwill of a company, that what is the goodwill of a company in the market, that too with the current rate. Here the earnings will be treated like input and then that will be taken into consideration. After that, the excess earnings valuation method is generally preferred for the strong businesses which are having the great goodwill in the market. It is also useful for the professional firms such as CA firms, law firms, service sector firms, etc. because these firms enjoys a great goodwill in the market. Now, last one is the business value versus selling price. That we have to keep this in mind, that the business value of any company may be anything, but then we are going to sell that company, the demand will decide the price of any business. Suppose you are valuing the company at 1000 crores from last 1 or 2 years, and unfortunately you have to sell that company in bad market conditions. At that time it may happen that your buyer will ask you to sell the company at just 700 crores because he is not ready to pay that much of the premium to you. And if you are in acute need, you will have to sell your company at 700 crores. So there will be a loss of 300 crores. So there is always a difference between the business valuation and the actual selling price. Then these are also subject to the valuer and the analyst. If valuer is having a rational thinking, analyst is having a rational thinking, that time valuation will be pretty good. But if both are biased, at that time the valuation of a company will be a big question mark. If the buyer of a company is overexcited, if he want to enter into that business at any cost, you will get a premium. Whereas if the financial buyer is having a mind that he don't want to pay much for the business, at that time he will pay low price. The best example here is of Reliance Jio. In the Reliance Jio, Facebook wanted to invest at any cost, so they give a great premium to the Reliance Industries Limited for their Jio stake. Whereas any debt-ridden company will not enjoy such kind of premium at the time of selling their business. So all in all, when we are talking about any valuation method, we must keep these points into consideration. The first one is the profound knowledge. Unless and until the analyst and the valuer of a company is not having profound knowledge, it will be impossible for them to calculate the exact value of a company or even the approximate value of a company. They should have a great experience of valuation. Next, there must be an accuracy for valuing the company, and they should give attention to each and every detail of a company. Last but not the least, the price of a company, the valuation of a company depends on the market conditions. For example, in times of booming market, any company will get high premium, whereas in times of turbulence, even a great company will not be able to get any kind of premium. So today, here we have seen the asset based valuation models. I hope that your all concepts are clear through this video. Thank you.